Velocicoaster is the new for 2020-21 Intamin Blitz coaster at Universal's Islands of Adventure in Orlando, Florida. Now, this ride officially opened to the public on Thursday, June 10th. However, it's had several soft opening and member preview days since the beginning of May. And plenty of people have ridden it, and there's several reviews out on it, and a lot of people have given their thoughts. And I actually have not done a video on this coaster yet, so I thought I would kind of just go through this ride and just overall give my thoughts on it in today's video. So let's get right into it. Now, first I want to talk about how a very interesting process of how this coaster kind of came to be. So it really started on construction during when parks were closed during the early stages of the pandemic, back around March to June of when parks were still closed and everything was closed of last year. And when people came back when the park reopened, there was just this new Intamin Blitz that was being constructed in the Jurassic Park section. And then people started kind of making predictions on the ride, and the kind of name Velocicoaster, I guess, got out there pretty early, around probably July of last year, and a lot of people made like prediction layouts and stuff. And then we finally got an announcement in September, and the hype really started building, really all throughout until it opened, or started soft opening, I guess, at the beginning of May. So this was meant to be a new for 2021 coaster. Unlike the rest of the coasters in Florida, it's actually kind of interesting how this opened before the rest of them. But I think that there's definitely something very interesting about the ride. Now, starting off, I guess, with the stats, it has a height of 155 feet, a drop of 140 feet, a top speed of 70 miles per hour, a track length of 4,700 feet. It has 4 inversions, including a Immelman, a dive loop, a zero-G stall, and a heartline roll. And it has a drop of 80 degrees, and it has 2 LSM launches. So let's kind of just go through the whole ride experience, the queue and everything, the actual layout. So let's get right into that. Now, from what I've seen from pictures of the queue and stuff, the first impressions and really just the whole queue, this ride looked really cool. You walk up to the entrance, which is actually right next to the main drop off the top pad. Then you go in, there's like this room with all these, like there's a statue in the center with all these like different like velociraptors, and there's like screens, and there's like these different colored lights on these like hexagons on the ceiling, which is really cool. And there's like different rooms with like all sorts of like artifacts and like books and different research and stuff, and kind of all explaining kind of the storyline, which is really, really cool. From what I've heard, it kind of gives kind of a modern sort of like military feel. I mean, it's kind of meant to be sort of like a research center, and there's like a place they're kind of keeping all the raptors, and they have like these like things on them, kind of like keeping them contained, and they're trying to like break loose, so that's cool. And there's like books and all sorts of stuff and different screens, different parts kind of explaining stuff from like the scientists and whatnot. So the queue really looks cool. I think they did a really good job. It seems to kind of have, some of it kind of seems kind of dark and eerie, which I think is definitely interesting. It's all indoors, well, besides the extended queue, so that's cool. But then you'll go into the station and board your train. Oh, and one more thing I would like to mention, this does have a locker system, sort of similar from what it seems to like what Steel Vengeance and Twisted Timbers have now, which I really like. That definitely speeds up operations, kind of the free lockers. You could just put your stuff there at the sort of towards the end of the queue and get it back after your ride. And I've heard the operations are really good on this, so I think that's really, really nice that they are kind of doing that new locker system. Alright, so you start out in this sort of enclosed area where there's all sorts of like different effects and like smoke and stuff before your first launch. This looks like some really, really cool theming. So then you'll launch out. It is 0 to 50 miles per hour. It looks like a pretty intense launch. Really nice. And then you'll go into this kind of Immelman, which looks really forceful, and straight into a dive loop, which looks pretty whippy and pretty forceful. You'll go through a couple turns and then to this airtime hill. This whole half you're kind of diving through like rocks and stuff, so like really cool near misses. And the theming just looks great. You'll go into some more twisty turns, which don't look anything too crazy, but with all the near misses with the theming and stuff, it looks awesome. A couple more turns. You go by this pathway area here and then turn into the second launch, just boosts you up to 70 miles per hour. So it's really fast, really forceful. You'll go over your 155-foot top hat, which looks like some great airtime to your 80-degree drop, which looks awesome. You're right by the footpath, go into the stall, which looks really fun and really whippy. You'll bank, and then you'll go into this wave turn, which looks like some awesome sideways ejector, and then bank around into your outer bank. Which isn't a full 90 degrees, but looks really fun. This whole part, I forgot what it's called, some sort of like helix thing with all these different elements. It kind of makes a shape of it because you're kind of going in a circle. But yeah, then you go into an overbank, then a speed hill, which looks great, into your heartline roll. It's nicknamed the Mosasaurus roll, but I just call it a heartline roll. This looks really, really cool and really whippy. Then you go into this twisted hill, which looks awesome, and then pop up one final time into the brake run. So that is the layout for Velocicoaster. So just giving my general thoughts, I think this looks like a really, really, really good ride. I know a lot of people said this is their favorite coaster of all time, or at least one of them. And I could definitely see why. It really looks to be one of the best coasters out there for combining like theming with, you know, a great ride experience. You know, similar to rides like Deschwerders Carillon and stuff where it's really, you know, you have like the whole queue and stuff, and the ride itself is really great. It's just the overall experience. You know, the queue line looks awesome. The area around the ride looks really cool. A lot of you can walk under a lot of the elements kind of in the second half. Like the stall you can go right under, and right next to the drop. And you know, it goes over, well, really the second half is over water, which is pretty cool. In the first half you have all those like rocks and kind of near misses with the theming, which that looks really cool. And of course you have like, you know, launching out of that first area, you have like the smokes and effects and stuff. And I'm pretty sure, I don't remember if it's the first or second launch, but there's like in the queue line there's a section where there's like this, you can see it, and you can see the train launching, and there's like screens of like velociraptors running after it, which looks, that's just super cool. I think the detail's incredible. I think they did such a good job on this. I mean, Universal usually does, but especially here, they just did an awesome job. The coaster itself looks really good. Like, the launches look fun. The first half doesn't look super amazing. I mean, it does have that one ejector hill thing that looks pretty good, and those two inversions look really intense. But, you know, a lot of twisty turns just look decent, but they go through the theming, so that's really cool. In the second half, not as much about the theming, but it's got some great elements like that top hat, the drop. That looks like it's a really good airtime. Definitely making me really excited also for Pantheon's top hat. This one doesn't even have a 90-degree drop, so I think the one in Pantheon's going to be more insane because it's beyond vertical. But back to Velocicoaster, has that outer bank, the wave turn, going to get great sideways ejector. I've experienced those elements on like several RMCs, and they're just amazing. The Jersey stall is going to be awesome. I've heard it kind of feels weird how you're kind of like slanted and doesn't feel like you're totally upside down, but it looks cool, and it looks really whippy coming in and out of it compared to most stalls. And of course it has that that heartline roll, which people are saying is like the best part of the ride, and honestly I could definitely see that. In my opinion, it probably does look like the best part just because it looks so whippy. A lot of people are saying it's kind of, you know, the predecessor, I guess, to Maverick's heartline roll. I mean, it definitely doesn't look as insane. If it wasn't as insane, it, you know, wouldn't be able to operate, because that's why they removed Maverick's heartline roll. It's too intense, but it does look really cool, especially in the lap bar, and you're right over the water, so it feels apparently like you could just like touch it. You're about to just like fall out into the water, so that's really cool. And then that final twisted hill looks super underrated and really whippy. And as I mentioned, the restraints, they look really good. So I mean, you're experiencing this all in a lap bar, which is awesome. Just the whole experience looks awesome. Now, I'm not as much of a theming guy, so I don't know if this would be my favorite coaster, because I think there's some rides that look to have like better elements, like Lightning Rod or I-305. So I don't know if this would be my number one. I mean, possibly, but I don't think I'm as big into that. But it does look really, really good. Definitely probably one of the best coasters out there for overall experience, you know, like Der Schwerter's Carillon or even like Tehran, which has a lot of theming, and Flight Phantasialand as well. Um, you know, people really like those rides, and I could definitely see why. I think, you know, having a ride that's more focused on theming, but also has a really good ride itself is great. Um, Honestly, I do think it looks like the best Intamin Blitz, and for right now, the best coaster in Florida. I could see Velocicoaster being better. I feel like I would prefer that type of ride, but I mean, never know. I'm not sure when I'll get down to ride this, but it does look really, really great. Um, it looks awesome, and it's very interesting that they fit this in because they really didn't need to remove anything. They kind of just stuck it near the Discovery Center, and over that second half of that big body of water. And it's kind of cool. It's kind of like, I think I heard somebody say this kind of the second half to Dragon Challenge replacement along with Hagrid's. Not like in that plot, but kind of just a spiritual sort of successor, or I guess just in terms, or I don't know, but sort of a second part of the replacement, which I think that's kind of cool. I mean, it kind of is. And I think this is just such a good addition to the park. It easily looks like the best coaster Universal's ever done. One of the better Intamins out there for sure. Just one of the best coasters for overall experience. In terms of like 2021 new coasters, I don't know if it's going to be as good as like Conda or even like Pantheon. I'm not sure. I feel like Pantheon would have better elements. But again, this has the theming, so you never know. And it's really grown on me because at first when it started testing and it was not going as fast, I didn't really think it looked anything special, but because it's sped up now and you see the POVs and everything, it looks great. But yeah, like 2021 coasters, I don't know if it'd be as good as like Conda or Pantheon or even Ride to Happy looks insane. Same with like Iron Gwazi. But I mean, not many of them are open, so it's kind of hard to judge, and I haven't ridden any of them yet. But overall, Velocicoaster looks really great, and I feel like it would definitely be in my top 10. Again, I don't know about like top 3 or top 4, as good as like those rides mentioned earlier, Sky Rush. But I could definitely see it. I mean, most people are saying it's their favorite coaster, and I could see why. But yeah, I just think I've heard so many good reviews, and it really does look like a great ride. I really have to get up there to experience it at some point. Hopefully I can kind of soon. But yeah, and it also looks like a really photogenic coaster too. I like the color scheme. I like the all black, and the trains just look really cool, especially at night with all the lights on the trains and stuff. That just looks awesome. Night rides look great on this. But yeah, it just looks like such a great overall experience with, you know, the area around the ride, the queue. But yeah, I mean, just the overall experience with just everything. Especially, you know, it's theming during the ride and the queue. It just looks amazing. And easily one of the best coasters out there. I mean, people are saying it's better than, you know, rides like Elrod, I-305, Voyage, El Toro, and stuff. So it looks great. Overall, I definitely could see the hype. And it just looks like one of the most well-rounded coasters out there. And one more thing to mention, it's actually seems like a decently pretty long ride too. I mean, it gives close to 5,000 feet of track, and it gives about 65 seconds from first launch to brakes, which is really good. Definitely not a short ride, but yeah, those are my thoughts on Velocicoaster. I guess thought I would you know, put this out there now that it's open and people have kind of reviewed it and give their thoughts on it. But yeah, those are that's the video of my thoughts on Velocicoaster, the new for 2020-21 Intamin Blitz at Universal's Islands of Adventure. Looks like a really great ride. Definitely a bucket list coaster for me now. And I just need to get down there to experience it for myself. It definitely has a lot of hype and really seems like it probably lives up to it, but I would definitely like to just really see for myself. It looks like a great ride. But yeah, if you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more coaster content coming soon. I'll see you guys later. Bye.